NXT Vengeance Day is going down this Saturday, and this card has us wondering, are there going to be any title changes at all? What might actually go down? Well, it is time to do some NXT Vengeance Day predictions. Let's get to it. Kicking things off with Femi versus Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller for the NXT Championship in a triple threat match. Let's be real. Femi is going to make his way down that ring, and he is about to have both Austin Theory and Grayson Waller for dinner. This is basically, to me, almost going to be like a handicap match because you know for a fact Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, they're gonna work together for a little bit of the time, right? They're gonna try to bring down the big guy Femi, and in the end, we're gonna see either Austin Theory or Grayson Waller start to turn on each other because don't forget, every man for himself in this triple threat match. And once that comes to fruition, we're gonna then see Femi basically run them both off. Femi is going to 100% defeat Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And I know in pro wrestling, we should never say 100% because wild card subject to change. But regardless, there is no way that Femi is losing this match. On top of that, this should hopefully be the demise, the breakup, the official parting of Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, because at this point, I don't think that keeping them together is the best option. I feel that right now, keeping Grayson and Austin Theory together is kind of holding them back. I want them to break up, feud for a little bit, and then see what both of these guys can do on their own, because Grayson Waller was definitely getting over on NXT. He was really good at getting people to boo him, and then when he went over to SmackDown, he was still getting people to boo him. And then with all of the crazy little obnoxious outfits that he's been wearing, it's definitely working for Grayson Waller. So I hope that we get to see that amplified a little bit more, so that when Grayson Waller goes out there, people hopefully boo him and he gets a strong reaction. But that's what I'm expecting a little bit more down the line for Grayson Waller. But let's stay with NXT Vengeance Day. So let's move on to the next match. NXT Women's Champion Giulia will be defending against Bayley, Roxanne Perez, and Cora Jade. This is an extremely star-studded match because you have a former NXT Women's Champion in Bayley and also one of the best NXT women ever, Bayley. And then you have former two-time NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez. And then you have the very popular Cora Jade. And then, of course, you have the brand new champion. Her reputation precedes her in Giulia. And this is her first big defense of the NXT Women's Championship. So there's a whole lot riding on this. And I'm excited because, as we like to say around these neck of the woods, is that the women are money. So, with that being said, let's break this down. First and foremost, this was originally supposed to be a triple threat match, but last night on NXT, Cora Jade defeated Bayley, and that made Ava, the GM, decide to include Cora Jade into the actual matchup, turning it into a fatal four-way. So now everyone's chances have become a little bit more difficult in terms of getting their hands on that NXT Women's Championship. So, here's the thing. Giulia, as NXT Women's Champion, she has not, in my opinion, been presented as a strong champion. I feel like so much of the story in this has revolved around Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez's beef with Bayley is one part of the story. Roxanne's questionable friendship, whatever's brewing with her and Cora Jade, is another part of the story. And then her trying to get back her championship from Giulia is another part of the story, right? But I feel like Giulia, they haven't really made her feel like her like she's arrived, right? When she came into NXT, it was like she's here, she's ready, the beautiful madness, she's gonna go and cause chaos, she's gonna completely change the NXT women's division. And that was the assumption that I was under, right? And everybody before Giulia even came into NXT was already expecting her to be the one to take the belt off of Roxanne Perez, and eventually she did. It didn't happen the first time, but it did happen the second time around at NXT New Year's Evil. However, since then, I don't feel like they have made her feel like she's on a pedestal. And for example, with Femi, he's gone out there, he's had several promos, and mind you, he won the title the exact same night that Giulia did. And we have seen far more be done for Femi and his character and his development than we have Giulia since she won the title. So that me a little bit concerned. I'm not worried by any means. I'm not expecting Giulia to lose the title here, but let's just say there was a title change. I don't know that I would be 100% surprised. I would at least be 99% surprised. And that's the best way to kind of explain it there. Since Giulia became champion, she was part of a tag team match which she teamed up with Bayley to take on Cora and Roxanne. So that's been one thing. And then she made her Royal Rumble debut. So that was another really big thing. But other than that, that's pretty much been it. And when you look at Femi, for example, he's already defended his NXT Championship at least one time, and he also had the tag team match where he teamed up with Trick Williams to take on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. And as I mentioned before, he's had promos in between all of that. So I am expecting Giulia to retain here. Her first defense, I don't think she should be losing. It would kind of be really sucky if she did. Like, that would not be a good start to her run in WWE, in my opinion. But here's the thing, though. If I were to see the title change hands, let's just say I had to pick somebody, gun to my head, I have to pick somebody. I would say Cora Jade, because of course, you know, Bayley's a main roster star, right? She doesn't technically need to be NXT Women's Champion, right? Roxanne Perez already held the title twice. She looks like she's bound to go off to the main roster pretty soon. Cora Jade is the only one who has not held the NXT Women's Champion. I do think Cora Jade will eventually become NXT Women's Champion, but not this Saturday. And if I'm wrong, oh shit, right? But maybe not this Saturday. I feel like you can still do a little bit more. So the last thing that I do want to say about this NXT Women's Championship match, though, is that there are still certain matches that I want to see, right? Because I really hope that we actually do get to see Bayley versus Roxanne Perez. They have been, beefing with each other. We've been seeing Roxanne Perez sitting and watching so many of Bayley's matches. And also, while I'm here, since I'm on the topic of Bayley, can we please give Bayley her flowers? This girl is constantly working and working so hard, and she's been wrestling like on pretty much every single show. So that woman deserves her flowers. But back to what I was saying, I definitely want to see Roxanne Perez versus Bayley one-on-one. And I also want to see Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade. I think that has to happen before Roxanne Perez officially makes her move to the main roster. You got to finish off what you've got going there with Roxanne and Cora. And to help elevate Giulia's reign as NXT Women's Champion, I wouldn't mind it if they did Giulia versus Bayley in just a nice, competitive, sports womenship type of match. I hope it's in the cards, guys. I really do. And I don't think like a loss from Bayley to Giulia would be like a bad thing. Because they would have to be for the title for sure. I mean, we just saw Bayley lose to Cora Jade. I can see her losing to Giulia. And again, it having no impact on Bayley's standing because Bayley is still Bayley and we respect her so much around here. WWE Universe loves Bayley. Moving on to the next match, Fallon Henley defending the NXT Women's North American title against Stephanie Vaquer. I am a big fan of Fallon Henley. I have loved her on NXT for such a long time now. I was so thrilled when she did become NXT North American Women's Champion because, again, she is very talented. She's been constantly featured on NXT television, and she's been champion since Halloween Havoc, which was October 27th, 2024. So she's been champion now several months. However, for whatever reason, though, I don't feel like they've also presented her as a strong champion. I feel like the presentation of Kalani Jordan as NXT North American Women's Champion was a lot stronger than the presentation of Fallon Henley, which is a bummer because I really did think that they had the opportunity there to make Fallon into a bigger star. holding the championship, but I don't feel like she has become a bigger star since she won the championship. On TV, she's had around 3 title defenses, and that's been since October. So I definitely feel, given how many women are on NXT, they could have definitely fed her way more girls in order to continue boosting her up as a champion. With that being said, her opponent is Stephanie Vaquer. And Stephanie Vaquer, on the other hand, has had people hella interested in her. All right. She arrived to NXT in October. And since then, she's pretty much been on television almost every single week, competing and getting wins. And so now you have Stephanie Vaquer, who has gotten very, very over with the NXT audience. Every time she goes out there, she leaves people wanting more. So I feel at NXT Vengeance Day that we are going to see a title change, and this is going to be Stephanie's victory. And hopefully the presentation of Stephanie as NXT North American Women's Champion is a lot stronger than what they were doing with Fallon Henley, and even with what they're doing right now with Giulia as NXT Women's Champion. So hopefully they don't drop the ball here with Stephanie, because she's got people's interest, and you need to run with that. Next up, we got a strap match with Trick Williams versus Eddy Thorpe. This isn't a feud that I'm in love with by any means. I feel like Eddy Thorpe hasn't won me over yet on NXT television. Like, he hasn't won me over as a person that I love as a heel. He hasn't convinced me to boo him in a way where I'm interested in booing him, where I'm still interested in seeing him wrestle. And so for me, that's been the biggest element where I can't get into this feud with him and Trick Williams. He's been coming out with this strap and whipping Trick Williams with the strap, right? And this has been happening now for a couple of weeks. So from the very beginning that we saw the strap, we knew that this was going to lead to a strap match between the two. But still, I don't think that the buildup to this match was interesting, only because I haven't been won over by Eddy Thorpe. So for that reason, Trick Williams needs to win this. He needs to win this, call it a day. And I hate to say this, but we need to move on, man. We need to move on. Trick Williams is somebody that we're expecting to be on the main roster soon, too, because it just about feels that he's done everything he possibly could on the NXT roster. Next up, we have the NXT Tag Team title match with Nathan Frazer and Axiom, the champions, defending against Josh, Briggs, and Inamura. So here's the thing. A lot of people have been expecting for Nathan Frazer and Axiom to break up. I love them as a tag team, and I don't want them to break up because I think they're really, really good, both of them in their own rights. So I almost want them to stay as champions, but last night, Briggs and Inamura had a very fun tag team match, and I think they won over the crowd. And it could be fresh to have Briggs and Inamura as the tag team champions. So I could also see the title changing hands here too. And last but not least, Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. The whole story that they've been telling here for the last several months is that Javon has been trying to heal from a broken jaw, which came from a brutal attack from Ethan Page to Javon. And I hate to say this, but this story has also not necessarily won me over. It came across as a little bit corny on the show, where I couldn't really buy that, hey, this vicious attack happened and Javon Evans's jaw is so messed up. And I don't know why it just doesn't come across as serious to me, even though that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be serious, right? Like, this is a broken jaw. I think the vignettes and the way that they've been telling the story has required me to suspend my disbelief a little bit too much. And I can't really do that. Like, you got to sell me on it. And I don't feel like they've done so in this match, in this feud. I don't feel like they have successfully allowed me to easily buy into this story with the broken jaw. And oh my God, he's so hurt. What is he gonna do? He's cleared to come back, but he's also risking all of these extensive injuries to his career, and he's so young. And what is he gonna do? And so I'm looking at this and I'm going, all right, well, Javon Evans, he's obviously, he's still a kid, right? So I'm kind of expecting Ethan Page to defeat Javon Evans because I do think they're going to tell the story of like, oh, he's still not 100% healed from his broken jaw. He really tried. He came back. He risked his life. He risked his career. And he did it all to try to get revenge from Ethan Page. But Ethan Page is still the one to bring the young, to keep the young OG down. So I'm kind of thinking that this is not the end of this story here with Javon Evans and Page, which is why I'm thinking Ethan Page gets the win here. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ethan Page goes right on in again and gives another brutal assault to Javon Evans. All right, so those are the matches on the NXT Vengeance Day card. All right, before we wrap up this video, I definitely have to talk about Ricky Starks, even though I don't know for sure if he's going to be going by Ricky Starks in NXT or what. But the point is, Ricky Starks made his debut, and we are expecting him to be on Vengeance Day. There is no way this guy isn't on Vengeance Day. As a matter of fact, I'm looking right now, and he was pulled from an indie show that he was supposed to be on the exact same day as Vengeance Day prior to this. He's been pulled from that show, so it looks like he was pulled for a reason, meaning he's most likely going to be at Vengeance Day. So anyways, I guess that reassures us that he should be there. My hopes for what we see with Ricky Starks from here is that he confronts one of two people. He either confronts Ethan Page. Okay. Oh, actually, let me correct myself. He could confront three people. He either confronts Ethan Page, Trick Williams, or Femi, right? Because after Femi is done with Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, who does he have next? That's interesting. I'm not really sure. So I kind of want Ricky Starks to go in there and be in the main program instantly with Femi. I do not hate the idea. Let's stop stalling. I've got zero patience. We can get to it, right? The other one, Trick Williams, as I was saying earlier, feels like Trick Williams has done just about it all. They could tell a story between Ricky Starks and Trick Williams that would be pretty damn hot. And the other thing with Ethan Page, again, I said I wasn't totally feeling this feud with him and Javon Evans. I did say that it does look like this could continue with Javon and Ethan, but in case it doesn't, it would be kind of cool if we went right into like Ethan Page and Ricky Starks, because again, Ethan Page is also very talented, cuts great promos, and I would love to see that back and forth with him and Ricky Starks. So there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts, my predictions going into NXT Vengeance Day. Let me know what yours are in the comment section below. And also, I will be here on Saturday to do a Vengeance Day watch along and a post show. So I hope to see you guys there. Thank you for watching. And if you want to check out another video, go ahead and check out my reaction video to Ricky Starks making his debut in WWE. Plus, do not forget to click that subscribe button. Catch you on the next one.